Good morning and welcome to another episode of Marketo-Fu. My name is Joe Wrights, and I still have not thought of a more creative or fun intro. Um, Signing on to this episode, we're on our 19th episode of Marketo-Fu, so that's cool. But I realize I failed all of you because we're on our 19th episode, and I haven't done the most basic, just thing that opens the door to so many other cool things in Marketo and just marketing automation in general is how to create a custom field. When I was on the train into the city this morning, I realized I was thinking of what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you guys how to daisy chain interesting moments and form comments so you can, have a whole history of things to show in an alert or, on a lead record in Salesforce or whatever CRM you use. If I ever talk about CRM, just assume I mean Salesforce because there's like 6 of you guys out there that use Dynamics and whatever. But anyway, so it's kind of embarrassing that we haven't talked about this yet. So I am going to dive in. Cool. All right. So back into Marketo. So like I'm talking about custom fields, to do them, you go to admin up here in the top right. And you can look at your, so I always like to use the file tree on the left because this looks like link soup. But down in database management, there's a field management area. So what you can do here to create a custom field, you obviously just click the new custom field button, right? That's easy. The thing that you may not know, so you can enter the name. So like, I'll be using this one tomorrow to show you something. You can enter the name, and then there's an API name that's going to be a little different. For some reason, the first word is always lowercase. I don't know if, yeah, I don't know why that is, but you have to select a field type. So there's a variety of fields you can use, and the reason these are so cool is what you can do with them is like I said, almost endless. You can have a text area field, just big, enter a lot of text. It could be formatted for a URL, phone. I mean, you guys can read this stuff. I don't have to go over it. But in case you need a quick reminder of what Boolean means, this is probably one of my more favorite field types. This is like a true/false kind of statement. That's what Boolean means. So when you create, the common use case for Boolean would be like, what I always try to tell people to do is create a field that lives, that it's Marketo field, bring it into Salesforce and call it something like sync to Marketo. And that way, if you ever want to not sync a lead from Salesforce down to Marketo, or like you want to delete it from Marketo and make sure it doesn't come back via Salesforce sync, having that little flag there is a wonderful idea. So that's one thing you can do with a Boolean field. You could I could go on and on, but that's one of my more favorite classic moves. But the one that you're probably going to use more often than not is string. If it's something you're going to put on a form and it's just like they enter some text and that's it, that's probably the one you're going to use more. Another one that I really like is score. So if I've worked on a couple B2C clients recently where in one case there is no CRM, and we want to move people through a nurture in an intelligent way based on their interactivity. So each main of their 4 main product areas is mapped to its own score. So as people are consuming things on the site and via email and landing pages and all that, their score is accumulating for given product interests, which means that can then trigger membership of a unique stream that's going to give them more conversion-focused messaging. So anyway, to create a field, so for what I want to do, I think it's going to be a string. And we'll go ahead and hit create. And then that's it. That's the field, done and done. So really not complicated. If I looked for my current form comments field here, it's going to pop up right there. And if for whatever reason you ever decided, oh, this wasn't a string, this should have been a text area. If the field's not in use by anything, so field used by should say none, what you can do is you can actually change the type in this dropdown right here. So this is handy when you're building on an implementation and you mess things up. Again, not saying I've ever done that, but it may or may not have happened to someone out there. All right. So basically, like I said, I realize this should be a text area. I select text area, hit change, and I'm done. Now, if that field were in use, and you can see type change to text. So if that field were in use, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So like if we looked at, I don't know, I'm sure this one's in use somewhere. He said, yeah. So only custom fields can change type. Well, so that's a different kind of error. Anyway, what I was going to show you is if it's in use, you can't change it. But where am I at here? Okay. So that was a very quick and simple, right? Like it's on me that I didn't show you how to do that sooner, honestly. But I wanted to show it to you today. Porque por la mañana, amigos, we're going to show you some stuff that's going to make you feel like a bad mother. Shut your mouth. So, stay tuned for that. We're going to use that current form comments field, and the use case is going to be like if they fill out a comments section on one form, we want to keep the old form but have the whole library. And you can also do that for interesting moments, put them on an alert. Tons of other stuff we can get into, but suffice it to say, custom fields are the gateway drug to all kinds of other awesome. So I will talk to you again soon. I've been Joe Reitz, and this has been another episode of Marketo-Fu.